funny that people call it the X-Men.
After all of this stuff, after the failure of the MCU, Marvel's been the worst performing movie they have ever seen in their entire history of the MCU. 15-year low point right here with a massive flop. You'd think that maybe they'd change their ways.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
You might want to think about changing the name to X-Women.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Write your own comic with you in it. No one will read it because nobody cares.
No, apparently not. Marvel's MCU X-Men reboot reportedly female-focused. A new report claims the upcoming X-Men MCU reboot from Marvel will allegedly be female-focused. Now, let's not get it twisted. The X-Men have some of the best female comic book characters in history, right? They've got like an insane roster of awesome female characters. However, they've also got an awesome roster of awesome male characters that a lot of people want to see.
What do they call you? Wheels?
Could you imagine that this is what if they actually follow through with this? With Kevin Feige, 2018, he said, I want to see an MCU where at some point in time we have more female characters than male. Well, they're there. He kept that promise. 5 years later, here we are. The MCU has been completely and utterly destroyed.
The MCU has come full circle. Jerk. Can
you imagine if this X-Men reboot, which is one of the only things that can actually turn things around for Marvel, bringing these characters in, if the first one they decide to do is literally just all about women.
We're so boring!
I really hope it's true. I hope it's true. I hope Storm is, the new leader of the X, and I hope they make all the jokes and everything.
X-Women.
You are really dumb, for real.
We need to think about changing the name. I hope they throw all that in there.
There's a lot of female superheroes in that X-Men group, so I think it's outdated.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937.
Because at this point, it's like, we've got to get this Titanic to the bottom of the ocean, man, as fast as possible. Those little jabs in the hull, it's not filling up quick enough. It's got to go, man. It's got to go. I said this yesterday, and again, to repeat, at the end of Endgame, they should have just gone away from Avengers completely. Had a couple little fun films, maybe like the Spider-Man movie, just a one-off, the Deadpool, something like that, another one-off. And they could have restarted an entire universe of films from 1 to 10 films or whatever they want to do with the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom. They could have just used all those characters. They could have brought in the X-Men for part of that as well. And, that could have been it. They could have ended like maybe on the Secret Wars if they wanted to do that. With the Beyonder, I don't know, but there's so many awesome villains with the Fantastic Four that they haven't even touched, and that would have been that could have been another phase. You know what I mean? But they just held on to this Avengers stuff like just way too long, and it's like they don't know what to do with it, and now they're just like, well, let's just add this character and let's change this one around, and maybe they'll like this, and it's so stupid. It's so stupid. They should have just Endgame over. They could have just like went to black, and at the very end, they could have just like zoomed in on like Reed Richards working on a computer, and that's it. Like, that's it. Like, okay, that's all the tease you get. And then they just waited with a couple of these successful one-offs and done a complete X-Men run, like that's phase 3. But they just freaking like, they won't let go. They're like, this is what's making money, everybody. They just trying to squeeze as much as they can. And if they wanted to do like these stupid little side shows like Echo and everything, yeah, just throw that over on Disney Plus. Keep the blockbusters, the Disney Plus, the TV, like the CW shows, stuff like that. And I think that would have worked, but what do I know?
That's why most of the stuff is shit.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that they could. Whenever we think that they can't possibly be any dumber than this, they do something else, right?
Put another gay diverse woman in it. Make it more fucking lame.
Shut up.
It's hard to imagine that they would continue down this path that is, especially when they're starting to like rewrite everything. They're changing this, they're changing that, they're firing directors, rebooting shows from the ground up. But this is Marvel, this is the MCU, this is Kevin Feige who wanted this from the beginning. The crazy thing about the X-Men is that is the perfect group of people to give you everything that they want. Right? You've got your diversity. You've got a bunch of strong female characters in that naturally that come from the comic books. That's the way that it's made up. That's this team. You don't have to like force some crazy thing where you just put all the women together.
No, you know why they'll keep doing this is because they don't think they're putting out bad stuff. They're blaming it on everything else. These people just love to pass the blame. Oh, the movie's good. It's just the pandemic's fault. People just don't want to go to the film. Oh, the movie was great, but it didn't have as much supervision as we wanted it, so it could have been better. The movies are great. You know, it's just a constant. It's not our fault. It's your fault. It's their fault. It's that fault. It's this fault. That's why it lost money. But it'll pick back up. Don't worry. Keep pushing the same thing. It'll definitely pick back up. But
no, I don't think I will.
Eventually, it's got to get to a point where they're like, this just isn't working at all.
And all they care about is, how can I put myself in the book?
So yeah, they blame the fans. They blame them. They just blame everything. It's ridiculous.
Blame everyone except themselves.
Yeah, it's YouTubers' fault. It's misogynist. It's racist.
I would love to take credit for it.
It's all those people's fault. Yeah, Ryan, it's your fault the Marvels went down. Even though you were a Brie Larson person, that's your fault.
Not the hero we deserved, but the hero we needed.
If I actually thought that I could take credit for it, I certainly would. I certainly would if I actually thought I was the cause of it. But I don't think I can. I don't think
I got blamed for the Star Cruiser going down. There's some crazy people that
made a lot of videos,
massive books in my comment section. Like they just wrote art, like holy crap. They're like 0.1, point 2, and I just responded, LOL. Like I'm not reading all that, but
You're either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.